Hey, what's going on? It's Quinn David Furness. Well, Friday, October 9th, 2020. What's going on? How are you? What's happening? My name is Quinn. This is my show. Happy to be here, streaming to you live via Beantown Networks, beantownpodcast.com, Beantown blog, Cuts by Q, Twitter at BeantownCast, all that fun stuff live on the air. A little special Friday treat. Much like yesterday, I went to 7-Eleven before I teach my class on Thursday nights. And I was going to 7-Eleven to get some coffee because I can get coffee at 7-Eleven for like 85 cents or something ridiculous like that. Granted, not amazing coffee, but that's okay. I don't really mind. But while I was in line, I noticed 7-Eleven has a fun new product. I'm holding it up to the YouTube stream here. Chocolate snack pie, which I think was my nickname in college. It's a chocolate pie wrapped in lightly glazed flaky crust. Now, if that's not just saturated fat synonymous, then I don't know what is. Saturated fat synonymous or makes me think of or sounds like Saturated Fats Anonymous, which sounds like a support group that I should not only start but attend weekly. The diet has, I don't want to say fallen off because I'm still doing a good job, but it's I'm not like doing the hardcore one meal a day. These days, some days I just have one meal a day and a lot of coffee, usually like Monday through Wednesday, but there's usually some dessert involved, chocolate, it's good stuff. Yesterday I was struggling, and so I went to the grocery store and I got some yogurt and berries and even a little bit of mix, because I reckon you got your nuts, your raisins, your M&Ms. What else goes into trail mix? I'm not sure. The one I bought at the grocery store just had those three pieces. But I was doing some munching, love munching, doing it on that. And I've got some more today that I'll have in a little bit here. But the reason I feel very badly about eating anything extra beyond my one meal per day this week in particular is because you might as well just put me down. I was running on Monday and I wouldn't even say I've been dealing with calf issues, because I'm not. It's just been kind of slightly sore, but not even enough for me to, it wasn't affecting my pace at all for the past week and a half or so. And then finally Monday, I get to the last half mile of a 10K and take a step and it just falls apart. My soleus muscle, if you're coming to us on the live stream, right down here on my left leg. It's a nice white action for you on a Friday. Soleus muscle, I think just a minor strain. But yeah, I haven't been able to run the past 4 days now, which is a bummer, especially, normal routine. You got your commute, you're, busy, you're all over the place, whatever. It's not that big of a deal if you don't get your workout in. But now, frankly, and I'm not even like a workout nut, but with work from home and quarantine and not that many fun things to do outside of the house, it's like, if I can't get my run in, what am I even doing here? I don't even love the at-home workouts because it just feels like I'm just going from my couch to the yoga mat this week, but it's not the same. You know how at the end of Old Yeller, they take Yeller out back, and I actually don't. I've never read it, nor have I seen it, but I feel like I get the gist of it. What actually happens? What's the story in Old Yeller? What is Yeller doing before the last 5 pages? When they take him out back, and do they get a new Yeller? Is he young Yeller? I don't know. Someone should let us know. You can email us beantownpodcast@yahoo.com. Someone with an intimate knowledge of the story of Old Yeller keep us posted on, what happens. Everyone knows the last 5 minutes of Old Yeller, but no one ever talks about the first 2 hours. TBD. But yeah, it's been tough to not be out there and running, and it's just the type of thing where just physically not, able to put a ton of weight, or I can put weight, but I can't really push off the pavement. Doing a little arm motion like this, I feel like Trump right now speaking with my hands. But yeah, so I don't know. It might try and go out for like a light jog tomorrow. Not even like, my Saturday runs for the past multiple months have been double-digit miles at a solid pace. Nothing like that. I'm thinking literally maybe like 3 miles at a very slow pace, because I don't want to push off too much and make the injury worse, but it would also just be really nice to get out there. We'll see. Don't want to rush back. You don't want to make it worse, but also trying to protect my mental sanity, if you will. Anyways, in case you're wondering, going back 5 minutes, I did not purchase the chocolate snack pie from 7-Eleven. In this economy, everyone's tightening. I'll tell you, the flaky crust was very appealing, but maybe next time. I don't go to that 7-Eleven very frequently. You might think differently. There's the one at Pratt and Glenwood there, right, basically under train, 2 blocks south of Morse. My old apartment when I was in grad school, before we started this show, I lived a block and a half from there. Now it's more of a 10-minute, 12-minute walk. But I don't go there very frequently because I don't usually my coffee runs in the mid-afternoon. I go out to the Dunkin' at like Clark and Granville for my iced coffee, because I get that for $2.24, tax included. But I suppose as it gets colder weather here, although it's like 80 degrees outside right now, I need to open some windows in here more frequently, if you will. Shout out to Jack Links, not officially sponsoring, but we got the cup here. And this is a reminder, PSA to everyone, to take your multivitamins. It's something I wasn't doing before quarantine, before work from home, but literally like the week of first work from home, first week of quarantine, which was March 16th, my birthday. I went to Target. I don't remember what exactly I was getting there. Toilet paper, I think. See, remember back when toilet paper, that was the thing. But I went to Target because they had some. And while I was there, I popped into the vitamins aisle, and I realized, you know what? I should take a multivitamin every day, especially given the pandemic circumstances. And I got to tell you, it's done wonders. Now, I don't put this entirely on the multivitamin right here. And I usually get 2 to 3 colds per year. Now, we're doing some serious knock on wood action that the tonsillitis doesn't pop up. We've had tonsillitis every year at the exact same time since we started this show. Maybe it's God's way of telling me to get canceled, but that happened literally days after Thanksgiving, both in 2018 and 2019. Would really love to avoid that because, and I guess this just speaks to how fortunate I've been from a health perspective in my life, but that's the worst pain I've ever felt. It's real bad. It is just, anyone who's had tonsillitis before knows, because you have to swallow, you have to talk. Like, these are just things that you do as part of being a human being, and it sucks. So hoping the combination of multivitamin, and then the other thing that's big here is spending so little time on public transportation. I think that's huge. Just relatively little time in the proximity of other people, especially indoors. I know we were at an apple orchard, which I talked about last weekend on the show. We were there last weekend in Indiana, and that was just looked like one of those apocalyptic pandemic movies, the crowds indoor as well as outdoor. That was probably my first time in a situation like that as far as I can remember. Very uncomfortable, not fun. Let me take my multivitamin here and we'll plow ahead. But yeah, I'm a big fan. It's just about getting into habit, getting into routine, put it on the coffee table, which is where next to my great Craigslist couch here, my waking days. If I'm not sleeping or I'm not out for my run, I will occasionally take my work laptop to the kitchen table. But for the most part, we're right here. So just, I have it next to my statue of Mother Mary. Here, we'll get Mary live on the air. Here she is. We've talked about this before. I got Mary sitting Mary was sitting. I wasn't. Mary was sitting in a wheelchair in the corner of Preston and Charles, something like that, in Baltimore. And along with our Zootopia Blu-ray copy, which I have over there. And I thought about the Zootopia copy because I was walking down the street yesterday. There was like a used book store at like Clark and Rosemont, basically. And they had a bin of videos for sale outside, VHS, not even DVD, VHS. And I think they were 50 cents each, something like that. And they had a copy of Shrek 2. And for a quick moment, I thought to myself, I ought to buy this video copy of Shrek 2 just to have on the shelf. But then I was like, well, maybe there's someone out there who actually has a VHS player that would actually like to use it. Shrek 2, great film. But that's what's going on here. The big news last week, stop the presses. Well, a couple of things we're going to get to, and then I'll read some ads here, and then we have a relationship question, which is very exciting because we don't have a lot of interactions with Beantown Podcast Beantown Podcast Yahoo.com, but when they do come in, it's like a big star-studded event. Congratulations! So my freshman year college girl was not invited. Didn't even get a +1. Katie was an interesting character. From Grafton, Wisconsin. French hornist. Very conservative. Mazel tov to Katie. We dated for, 9 months, I think? Something like that. For the majority of my freshman year of college and the summer after. I don't even really remember how we broke up. It just kind of happened. It was strange. I think it happened over like a Skype call or something. But I'm really happy for Katie. And I'll mention, friends of the podcast probably know what I'm about to say, based off the fact that she's very conservative. And just got married last weekend. Listener discretion is advised when you're listening to the Beantown Podcast. Number one, we'll occasionally use some language or bring up some adult topics, which we're about to. And number two, this podcast is objectively terrible. Happy for Katie, she finally gets to have sexual intercourse last Saturday night, presumably. Now, full disclaimer, I didn't text her at 11:30 p.m. and ask. I felt that might be too forthcoming of me. I waited till the morning after. No, I'm kidding. I didn't. But congratulations to Katie. I don't like to talk about my exes or past relationships much on this show. One, I don't think there's too much to tell. But two, if you could see the babe I'm dating right now, Rachel Ramos, what total babe alert. Just look at this. If you're on the live stream, we're holding it up. And are you kidding me? That's just silly. I think I even said this when we were still like talking on the dating app we met on. I felt like it was a setup. Like one of those things where you have the super hot girl and she's actually already dating someone and she and her boyfriend are just doing this sadistic thing where she matches with a guy, gets him to come over, and then the boyfriend's hiding in the closet and he beats the guy up. In which case I'm the guy getting beat up. I that ran through my head a number of times. And I gotta say, after our first date, which was in late February before COVID shut everything down, after the first date, I was like, yeah, there's no way this is going anywhere. The reason being, not because I didn't think we had a good time or not because I'm not confident in myself, but I was like, I'm like right here on the looks scale. Granted, I was, 60 pounds heavier, but still. And then you got, off the charts, off the YouTube feed here, Rachel Ramos. So shout out to the stone cold stunner herself. I think she was bummed too that she didn't get an invite to the wedding last weekend, but it's okay because we had Papa's cheese curds instead, which is, do you think Papa's caters weddings? There's something we haven't even considered. I'll have to reach out to Papa. And what happened to Papa's wife? What happened to Mama? Do you think it was a divorce? Do you think it was a death? I feel bad for Papa either way. Running the family business is, it's a lot of responsibility. I will say though, there are 3 generations of Papas typically running the stand. Salem's Lot, used book. For my trip to New England, which brings me to my next topic, last thing here before I read some ads, and then second half, we're gonna answer a relationship question. You might have seen me post on social media, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram primarily, maybe Twitter, I don't recall. I've been teasing some merch, or teasing the concept of merch for our fall 2020 road trip, taking the show on the road for literally like the first time since basically this year. I mean, I've taken this year, I've gone to, in terms of like legit trips. I mean, I went to Wisconsin twice, gone to Indiana for a wedding, but I went back in January. I went to Alabama. I think it was January. There's actually really good, if you're just, a new hashtag friend of the podcast, if you're just catching up, I think one of our best episodes this year happened really early. It was our Alabama rant. I would encourage you to go listen to that. And then I went to Texas, went to Austin for like 24 hours, literally 24 hours. It was maybe like 30 or something like that, but it included 2 nights of sleep. And then I went to Minneapolis once in late February. Since then, nothing. So I'm really excited to get out to New England. And I think we're going to do merch. So we have shirts. Let me see if I have the picture on my phone right here. I'll hold it up to the YouTube stream ever so briefly. So if you're watching us live on the video, you can see what they look like. Shoot me a message if you're interested. So far, we've got about 10, 11, maybe even 12 people who have said that they're interested. So I think we can do it. It would probably be about like $15 for a t-shirt. Here's what they look like. They are sky blue shirts with red font, popcorn kernel. Stuck in my well, I got it out, so it's not stuck. But moving ahead here, Beantown Podcast 2020 in red font, kind of fun, kind of funky font, like a disco, like Blade Runner sort of thing. Spread right across the middle. Let us know if you're interested. We're gonna try to get that done. I think I want to do it. I think there's enough people who would like them. It'd be fun to have a little new merch. We haven't done anything much like that for a while. We have our Beantown buttons, which are, about a year and a half old. And then we have our ordained minister business cards. I think I have like 400 of those over on the coffee table behind me, or the desk behind me. So we got a lot of those to hand out, but we haven't done anything fun this year. And I think that would be, it would be cool to be able to do that. So let me know if you're interested. You can text me, 815-298-7200. You can email me, beantownpodcast@yahoo.com. You can tweet at me at beantowncast. One other thing that just popped in my head, I wasn't planning to talk about, but you come watch and listen to this show for all the fun little idiosyncrasies, right? Well, I got a DM. First, I get a comment on my most recent Instagram photo. Was it? Yeah, I think so. Let me look. Yep. Okay. Here's the photo. It's me and Rachel at the pumpkin patch from last weekend. If you're watching our live YouTube stream, super cute. Mostly her, but I get a comment from the Instagram handle Pierre Arden Team Luca. It says, "Nice pick, Quinn." And it's interesting. I didn't even think about this. Oh yeah, okay. My name is in my description. Okay. I was Quinn. Let's collab. DM our main account at Pierre Arden and let them know we sent you. So I go look at what is Pierre Arden. It's classic yet modern timepieces, aka watches. I don't know why they couldn't have just said that. So I DM them. I'm like, what's going on? What's new? And it said, let me just read you the conversation. Excuse me. Let me just read you the conversation. I say, Team Luca sent me. You want to collab? They say, hey, we've been reaching out to a few people who fit our style for a potential collaboration. We don't usually do this. Maybe. But we want to offer you 50% off everything in our store so that you can wear the latest timepieces. All we ask is that you tag us in a picture of you wearing it, and we may feature you on our page. Just like how I got featured on Venmo's Instagram, I'm getting kind of famous here, guys. Would this interest you? I respond, that doesn't sound like a collab. I've been hoodwinked. They respond back. Also, we will offer you a personal code for 25% off our entire store. I feel like I'm doing ad reads here and I hate it. This is for your followers and we will give you a 30% commission straight to your PayPal account for any purchase using that unique code. Holy pyramid scheme, Batman. Also, this means you're not only gaining friends and followers, but you're also gaining income. I say, what a letdown. Pierre Arden says, take a quick look around and then message me to let me know which items you would like. And we'll send you through a unique 50% off in all caps, like you're buying bug spray or something, code. Check out our site here. And then they have the URL. Then I say, feels like you're not listening. And they left me on scene. So TBD. I also, Brian Makuga, Brian with a Y. This is turning into a great old, like Chicago Polish looking guy with 137 posts, 438 followers, and 2,700 following. Always a great ratio. His account is private, but his handle is Get Your Blue Badge with Brian, and his description is 100% legit with full refund. Full F is capitalized. That's important. Guaranteed if you're not satisfied. So Brian Makuga, I don't know how he found it. Whatever. Matt DMs me, slides into my DMs Monday night. He says, hello, it seems you're a public figure. Would you be interested in getting your Instagram verified to get more publicity? I say, seems risky. He says, bear with me here. I've verified over 42 accounts. I love when they say over 42 accounts. I get it if you're a big Jackie Robinson fan, but you can't say over and then have a very specific number. That doesn't make any sense. Come on, Brian. I can't share. This is legit. I promise. I can't share the usernames as my clients don't like this. Here's a step-by-step process of how it works according to one source who has sold verification and corroborated by two other sources who have bought it, excuse me. So he's giving me the step-by-step process, not according to him, according to others, which just, again, Brian, you gotta work on your marketing strategy here. It says there's usually an employee at Facebook or Instagram who's willing to take a bribe or just be a friend. No joke. A middleman will be the seller. 2, The middleman receives cash, which may or may not be split with the Facebook Instagram employee. 3, the friend at Facebook or Instagram submits a verification request and crosses their fingers, it gets approved. Brian's speaking straight up. He is not even like, you do this, you'll get approved. He's like, maybe they'll take a bribe, maybe it will get approved. And if your account is verified, you get paid for every Instagram TV you posted. I gotta say, this is very not Chris Rock, although we never learned one way or another if they were the same. Mr. Rock Chris emailed me and wanted me to send him money. We got into this whole big spat about opening a coal mine in Western Pennsylvania. It was an ordeal, multi-episode thing that we talked about. Anyways, Brian Macuga, Macuga, is the new Rock Chris. I say, Brian, you seem like a pretty smart guy, and I actually appreciate how straightforward you are with the shadiness and uncertainty of all this. As you can probably assume, this doesn't seem like a risk worth taking. Brian Macuga says, it has 100% success rate cause, C-O-S, cosine, cause your profile is well, okay? No punctuation in any of this, which is helpful. All I need is your username to submit, then you get verified within 24 hours, and if it doesn't verify, full refund is guaranteed. If you think I'm joking, here's the messages. You're seeing it on the live stream. I say, what if I get verified first, then pay you, Brian? That's a win-win. Brian says, I explained the process to you. I have to pay the middleman, which Brian is the middleman, so it's like the Jimmy Seinfeld episode. The most I could do is take half payment first. I say, I'll take $10. I apologize. I'm just trying to fill out something online here. Brian says, no, $10 isn't acceptable. I would only be down for $50. I say, no deal, Howie, not without references. Brian Macuga then says, all my customers won't be comfortable with me telling people about how they got verified. I say, well, it doesn't make much sense that I just hand out $50 to a random stranger, does it? Brian comes back, the negotiator says, okay, do you have cash appers with like 8 exclamation points? And then one other message basically where he says, I'm not here to joke around or play games. Wow. Brian Macuga is just, what a guy, you know? Just quite a character. Sorry we couldn't make it work. Sorry, Brian. Okay, let's read some of our ads here, and then we will move ahead here. Let me pull these up. Usually they pre-populate when I start to type in Google Docs. They're not doing that today. But we're going to start with Home Pride, Oregon, which is a close personal and family friend of the show. I'll start reading it before we even, get the ad read up here. Are you tired of selling your house for less than a quarter of what it's worth, all because you can find a reliable home inspector in time? Well, Oregon listeners, I got good news for you. Home Pride Oregon is both, Home Pride Oregon and Home Pride Inspection Services in Bend, Oregon is Central Oregon's hottest new home inspection provider with inspection services including things like heating and cooling, roofing, plumbing, and so much more. Home Pride Oregon is both contractor certified and home inspection certified, so you know you're getting the good stuff. If you're tired of big real estate's stranglehold on the home inspection market, and you want a safe, certified home inspector that you can trust, you have to call Steve at 541-410-0316, or you can visit homeprideoregon.com. Again, 541-410-0316, or you can visit homeprideoregon.com. Home Pride Oregon Inspection Perfection. I want to give a shout out to the Samson Q2U series. Sure, it looks nice after all these years. One of these days, we're going to have to sing Still the One by Orleans and dedicate it to the Samson Q2U series. I think that would be a touching tribute, don't you say? Last but not least here, Cuts by Q. And I did a little Cuts by Q yesterday. I had to trim the ears and trim the back. I think soonish we'll trim down the sides and the back just to avoid the Luke Skywalker helmet hair look. We don't have to go all the way down, try to look like a cool faded cut frat bro, but just a little bit. A little trim would be nice. And I think I'm going to let the beard go a little bit here. I've been, last like 3 or 4 months, I've kept the beard pretty conservative. And in fact, have done like clean, close shaves multiple times. But, you know, things are getting a little bit colder out. You're going to want that extra layer of protection. Bob and weave. We all know the hairstyle. We all love it. But how many Chicago-based independent barbers can actually give it to you the way you deserve? Enter Cuts by Q. It's like Enter Sandman, only different. Cuts by Q has been independently owned and operated since 1995 and is probably one of the better barbershop operations here in Chicago, Cook County, Northwest Indiana, and the greater Chicagoland area. From beehives to bangs, faux hawks to flat tops and everything in between, you have to call Cuts by Q at 815-298-7200, or you can email cutsbyq@yahoo.com. Again, that's cuts, Q-U-T-Z by Q at yahoo.com. Okay, sing it with us loud and clear. Oh, when you need a fresh do, something snappy and new, just call the experts at Cuts by Q. Cuts by Q. By Menon. No, that's not part of it, but it'd be cool if it was. Okay, let me adjust one thing on my phone here, and then we're going to dole out some relationship advice for the ladies and the males in honor of Bill Burr hosting, who it was, some country guy I've never heard of, Morgan Hargrove or something. They are aware of this. Lorne Michaels is aware of this because in one of Bill Burr's promos, he asked if he could be the musical guest. I legit hope they let him do something because he's a really good drummer. Or they just let him do his stand-up. Like, I hope they utilize his talents fully because Bill Burr is one of the funniest men alive and multi-talented. And it would be a shame if they didn't increase his screen time. So we will see. Let me get something going here, and then we'll get started with our relationship question. Okay, so thank you for listening up to this point. We got one more thing here on the show, and then we will continue on with my Friday. Actually, I'm doing this midday. It's about noon right now. I actually have some afternoon meetings, which is just who's putting Friday afternoon meetings on. Like, you know, that you got the Kamala face and you got the Amelia Clark Game of Thrones face. That's what I'm trying to do here. Okay, let's get our question up here. Okay, here we go. Nope, I lost it again. Boy, just killing it here. We need to get this back up. Okay, here we go. How to deal with the infamous line of "I need time." Okay, so dear Quinn, I am 31 years old, or some time, about a year and a half right now, which I would consider to be some time, especially I feel like the pandemic lengthens everything out. Like, I've been dating my girlfriend for 8 months, feels a lot longer than that in a good way. Everything was going great until suddenly it wasn't. Oh boy, here we go. We went on a holiday, it must be British, to spend with his brothers who I haven't met. Wow, that's kind of a long time to date without having met. And he became a completely different guy. One night he came to my house, not a great speaker, in the middle of the night, super toasted, and said, he's not worth anything, that I'm better off without him, and stuff like that. He says he loves me, and when we're together, he does great. Then he goes the whole day, we don't live together, and again, starts to be a distant person. He's super depressed since the pandemic started. He lost his job and stuff like that, and money has been an issue. I've been helping him a little since I have a steady job and make good earnings. What a good girlfriend might do, presumably. I feel I didn't want it to end, but I also feel like insisting on him is worst. Interesting choice of words. I don't know. I really thought we had a good thing going, and now I can't concentrate on anything. he told me he wants to be alone, that he loves me, but it's what he wants right now. It can go two ways, that he cools off and comes back or not coming back at all, and it's terrifying. Is there something I should do? All right, great question. Thank you for submitting that. And I got to tell you, that's a tough one. So you got this guy, you love him, you love each other, you've been supporting him, and it seems to me like the stress of not having a job, money being tight, maybe feeling emasculated by the fact that he's being supported by his girlfriend is making him feel isolated. You know, come into play here, but maybe you got to get them involved. Big fan of getting the brothers involved. So here's what I would suggest. Talk to the brothers, see if they have any advice, see if there's something you can do. And then, I don't know, couples counseling could be fun. See if your man wants to go to that. I've never been to counseling, but it seems like it could be fun. Not necessarily fun, but worth it. And then I guess the way I feel about this is you got to decide how hard you want to fight for it. Okay, ladies, I hope you're out there listening. You got to decide how important this is for you. It sounds to me like it's pretty important for you. And I think love is worth fighting for, especially in these wild, isolated pandemic times. It doesn't sound to me like it's going to be super healthy for him to be alone. I think it's important to respect boundaries and respect his wishes. But sometimes when it comes to love, and for someone who's been dating, for a couple who's been dating for over a year, you got to grab life by the lips and just yank. Okay, Ali Yankovic taught me that. So yeah, you gotta. I think sounds to me like it's something worth fighting for. Like that Green Day song, 21 Guns. Do you know what's worth fighting for? My Billy Joe Armstrong impression was never spectacular, but it has really fallen off. I don't know if it was just lack of practice or what it was, but in high school it was like, would you want to buy that? I don't know what it would taste like. I am envisioning it would be kind of like sprinkles. I think you'd have to be fun. I don't think you'd want your spooky seasoning to be like cumin or something or paprika, you know. Although I guess what would be super spooky would be if you expected it to be like a fun sugary something and then all of a sudden it's like cayenne. Big brainstorming ideas over here. Okay, spooky seasoning, put a pin in that. Could be fun. Could be the next big holiday treat. But thanks for writing in. I hope my advice was semi useful for you. Matt Fiedler says, "What's love got to do with it?" Classic tune. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta go back to work. Like emails are coming in, meetings are coming up. This is the risk you run when you decide to live stream in the middle of a work day. But I've got to go answer some emails here. It's beautiful weather in the Midwest today. Hope you all get the chance to get out and enjoy it. Upwards of 80 degrees. I got to open a window here because things are getting toasty fast. That's what I got for you. Where are we at? 41 minutes. Pretty good. Pretty right in the sweet spot. Not too long, not too short. Yeah, we've got, I haven't officially announced or decided how we want to do our episodes in terms of our New England road trip. I think I'm just going to try to record as much as possible and then, probably release some episodes. I might do like a live check-in at the start of each one and then release the file. I haven't decided how I want to do it yet. We've got some states where we've never broadcasted from before. We've never done an episode from Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Maine, or Vermont. So we've got some exciting new ones to cover. But that's what I got for you. So everyone, I hope you have a great fun, safe, spooky weekend. Only a couple more before Halloween. And don't forget to vote. Don't forget to register to vote. I mean, if you're not voting at this point, like, it's just you're being a dummy. Just do it, okay? Like Nike says. And I do really appreciate, you know, all the organizations. Like I said, the NFL has a commercial with Pete Carroll and Kittle, Russell Wilson, Todd Gurley, like a vote campaign. Like, that's awesome. 100 years too late, but better late than never. Okay. Matt Feather, I'm going to give you a call this weekend. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going back to work. Everyone, on the audio stream, I'm going to get some Tishomingo Blues queued up here. YouTube, we're going to end it right here. But stay safe, stay sane, and thanks for listening to our live stream. Really appreciate it. And I'll check in on you next time. Bye, YouTube. Bye, audio stream. It never ends when I want it to end. Okay, there.